Now we are going to study resistors in series and parallel circuits. First we shall study resistors in series circuit and then we will study resistors in parallel circuit. First we have to start with what is a series connection. What is a series connection? We can say two components are connected in series if they have a single common point in between them. We say two components are connected in series if they have a single common point in between them. Here you can see we have two components A and B, right? And you have a single common point between A and B or between component 1 or component 2. So this is your single common point. So I can say the components 1 and 2 are connected in series. So now we shall see resistors in series. So we have three resistors R1, R2, R3 and of course R4, four resistors connected in series. See, between R1 and R2 you have one single common point. Between R2 and R3 you have one common point. Between R3 and R4 you have one common point. So we can say these four resistors R1, R2, R3 and R4, these four resistors are said to be connected in series. So the equivalent resistance when resistors are connected in series, it is given by this equation R equivalent, right? R equivalent equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus R4. So it is nothing but when resistors are connected in series, the equivalent resistance is nothing but sum of the resistors. Next we shall see resistors in series circuit. When you connect resistors in a series circuit, that means you include the voltage source, how it will be. So we have resistors in series circuit. You can see, I will close this. You can see I have a voltage source V and three resistors R1, R2 and R3. These three resistors are connected in series. So you can see between this voltage source and R1 we have one common point, and between R1 and R2 we have only one common point. Between R2 and R3 you have only one common point. Similarly, between R3 and V, only one common point is this. So this is an example for series circuit. Or in other words, resistors in series circuit. In a series circuit, same current flows through all elements. So here, current starts from the positive terminal, same current flows through R1, R2, R3 and finally it reaches the negative terminal. Same current flows through all elements. And we know already R equivalent, the equivalent resistance equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. So I can write V equal to I into R equivalent. So this is nothing but, so same circuit we can represent like this. We have a voltage source, we have the equivalent resistance, the current I is flowing through this. So V equal to I into R equivalent. V equal to I into R equivalent is nothing but R1 plus R2 plus R3. V equal to just multiply, just multiply, expand, right? V equal to I into R1 plus I into R2 plus I into R3. So V equal to I into R1 is the voltage drop across R1, V1 plus IR2 is nothing but voltage drop across resistor R2, which is V2, plus IR3. IR3 is the V3 voltage drop across resistor R3. So V1, V2, V3, these are nothing but voltage drop across resistors. You can recall what I have already told. Whenever current passes through a resistor, a voltage will be dropped across the resistor. That entry point of current is plus, the exit point is minus. So in between you have the voltage drop. So we can write supply voltage, V is the supply voltage or source voltage, equal to, in a series circuit, sum of voltage drop across the resistors. So in a series circuit, the supply voltage equals sum of voltage drops across series resistors. Okay. Next, open circuit. Of course, we have already seen what is an open circuit. Suppose you have a series circuit, in that you remove one component. For example, I have a series circuit, voltage source Vs, R1, R2, R3. Three resistors are connected in series. Just assume that R3 is removed. So the series circuit will become an open circuit. Series circuit will become an open circuit. And you know already very well, in an open circuit, current is zero. So R removed, it becomes open circuit, current zero. In this situation, all supply voltage will appear across the open circuit. So here we removed R. So it has become open circuit, current equal to zero. Across this open circuit, all the supply voltage is this. All the supply voltage appear across this. In case, if the supply voltage is high, say for around 200 volts, for example, I am telling for example, the supply voltage is 200, right? In case, if you touch these 2 points, open circuit, assuming that current is zero, if somebody says there is no current in the circuit, if you touch the 2 points, right, the entire 200 volts will appear across this. So you will feel electric shock, and it is highly dangerous. 200 volts DC is very highly dangerous. It may even lead to death, right? Next we shall discuss the so-called voltage divider rule. Okay, so this is applicable for a series circuit. Here I have a series circuit. Vs is the supply voltage. R1, R2 and R3 are the three resistors connected in series. So I is the current flowing through the circuit. The current I drops 3 voltages across 3 resistors. The voltage drop across R1 is V1. Voltage drop across R2 is V2. Voltage drop across R3 is V3. So using voltage divider rule, you can find out voltage across a component or a resistor in a series circuit. For example, to find what is the voltage across this resistor R3, okay, this resistor R3, the rule you have to follow is, I will show the rule, but before that I will state, right? Suppose I want to find out voltage across resistor R3, which is nothing but V3. So V3 equal to value of that resistance. That means here R3 divided by sum of the resistances in the circuit. Underline the word sum, total, sum of the resistors in the circuit. So in this case, R1 plus R2 plus R3 multiplied by the source voltage, multiplied by the source voltage. So V3 is nothing but R3, that resistor, V3 resistor, R3 divided by sum of the resistors, R1 plus R2 plus R3 multiplied by Vs. Vs is the source voltage or supply voltage. Okay. So this is the rule which you have to remember, right? Voltage across a resistor, this is nothing but voltage divider rule. Just for your easy remembrance, voltage across a resistor equal to value of that resistor divided by sum of the resistors in the circuit multiplied by supply voltage, right? Next we shall see what is a parallel connection. What is a parallel connection, right? So for that you consider two components, right? I have component 1, component 2. So the top ends of two components connected at this point A, the bottom end is connected at point B, right? So you have two common points. One is common point A, another one is common point B, right? So we say two components, not only two components, more than two components also. We say two components are connected in parallel if they have two common points between them, right? So this is the basic definition of, not definition, or the basic concept of parallel connection, right? This you should remember very, very well, because people fail to identify the series connection and the parallel connection, right? Especially they find it difficult to identify the parallel connection, and when they try to solve problems, they solve it in a wrong way. Okay, so we already seen what is a series connection. Now you must understand very clearly what is a parallel connection. So two components are said to be connected in parallel when they have two common points in between them, right? So this is one example. So parallel connection can be shown in different ways. Okay. So for clarity, they will draw the circuit like this. Say R1, R2, R3. You can draw like this, right? This is for clarity. But this is nothing but parallel connection of R1, R2, R3, because this is same point A. This bottom shaded, this is also single point B. So if you redraw this, so same R1, R2, top edges or top points, they connect at a single point A. Bottom points, they connect at a point B. So R1, R2, R3, these are connected in parallel because they have two common points. One common point is top point A, and the next common point is bottom point B. But for clarity, we normally draw the resistors like this. Okay. So you should know, or you should identify, you must be able to identify the parallel connection using this concept, right? You see this. So here I have R1 and R2, R3, R4. Top one wire connected, middle one wire connected, bottom one wire connected. Okay, this should be C. It's missing, right? So these two are one common point. This wire is one common point. Bottom is also one common point. So you can see, you can redraw this. So this is one common point. Similarly, bottom, one common point C. Now this I can also draw like this, right? Actually, everything is nothing but one single common point B. So your this circuit is similar to this. So we have R1 and R2 connected in parallel because A is one common point, B is another common point. Likewise, R3 and R4 connected in parallel because B is one common point, C is another common point, right? So this you must understand very well. Okay. Next we shall see these resistors in a parallel circuit. Resistors in a parallel circuit. Okay. So I will show the circuit first. Resistors in parallel circuit. Here V is the supply voltage. We have three resistors R1, R2, R3. These are connected in parallel because this top strip, this is one common point. This bottom strip, this is another common point. So I can say this is a parallel circuit. The supply voltage V, R1, R2, R3 all are connected in parallel because top one common point, bottom another common point, second common point, right? So it is a parallel circuit. Now the current will start from positive terminal of the battery. So some current flows through this R1. So this is I1. Some current flows through this I2, through R2, that is I2, and remaining current I3 flows through R3. So current flowing through resistor R1 is I1, current that flows through resistor R2 is I2, current that flows through resistor R3 is I3, right? And I already told you, whenever current flows through a resistor, a voltage will be dropped across it. The current entry point is plus, current exit point is minus. So the voltage drop across R1 is V1, voltage drop across R2 is V2, and voltage drop across R3 due to current I3 is V3. So to understand this, I will give a simple analogy. So you consider a tank. Here we have a tank filled with water, and this is a pump, right? This is a pump. This pump sucks the water. Here we have three different pipes, different size and shape. So this is a very big pipe. This is somewhat medium pipe. This is pipe R3 is a narrow pipe. We have three pipes, R1, R2, R3, which is a narrow pipe. So because of this pressure difference, this pump sucks water from this tank. So water is sucked by the pump. It flows through the first pipe. First pipe is very large pipe. So more amount of water flows through this. and second pipe R2 is say somewhat narrow. So accordingly, so that much water flows through that. And the last pipe R3 very what do you call, very narrow and not straight. Lot of bend is there. So very small amount of water flows through that. Okay. So in this, what you should remember is the same pressure, because there's only one pump we have. So we have same pressure across the pipes. So the pressure is same, but the amount of water flowing through the pipe varies. If the pipe is large, big pipe means large amount of water will flow. If the pipe is somewhat medium means accordingly that much water will flow. Suppose if the pipe is very narrow, then very small amount of water will flow. Now you equate or you compare this pressure is equivalent to the voltage or the supply voltage V, and the flow of water, amount of flow of water is nothing but current through the various resistors. So the point to remember is voltage is same across all resistors and equals the source voltage. So in a parallel circuit, voltage is same across all resistors and it equals the source voltage. It equals the source voltage. So we can write mathematically I can write like this. V1 equal to V2 equal to V3 equal to V. Also, the source current, see, source current is I. That current divides into various branch currents, right? Some current flows through I1, branch R1. Some current flows through R2. Some current flows through R3. So I can say source current in a parallel circuit, source current equals sum of the branch currents. This is very important. Source current equals sum of branch currents. That is, I is the source current. Source current means current coming out of the battery or current coming out of the voltage source. That is, I equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Right? So we know V1 is nothing but I1 into R1. So from this I1 is nothing but V1 by R1. Similarly, V2 equal to I2 into R2. So from this I2 is nothing but V2 divided by R2. Next, V3 equal to I3 into R3. From this I3 is nothing but V3 by R3. So we can proceed like this. Now, I is nothing but source current. I equal to I1 plus, if you want I will close this, you can understand. Now I equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. I equal to, just substitute values for I1, I2, I3. So I can write I equal to V1 by R1 plus V2 by R2 plus V3 by R3. Also we know that as V1 in a parallel circuit, as V1 equal to V2 equal to V3 equal to V. V is the source voltage or DC supply voltage. So I can write I equal to, instead of V1, V2, V3, we can put V. So I equal to V by R1 plus V by R2 plus V by R3. So this V is common in the three terms on the right hand side. So you can take it outside. So I equal to V into 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Take this V downstairs. So you get I divided by V equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. So I by V, this I by V is nothing but V by I, we have already seen. V by I is nothing but equivalent resistance. V equal to IR, I equal to V equal to IR, I equal to V by R. Okay. Third form is R equal to V by I. So this is opposite to that. So source current divided by source voltage. So this is equal to that is ulta of equivalent resistance. Okay, so we can write I'll close this so that you can understand. So I by V is nothing but 1 by R equivalent. Right hand side we write as it is 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Okay. So this is the formula which you have to use if you want to find equivalent resistance in a parallel circuit, right? To find equivalent resistance in a parallel circuit, the formula to be used is 1 by R equivalent equal to, this is only 1 by R equivalent, not R equivalent. 1 by R equivalent equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3, right? But normally when we want to solve problems, right, normally we take two resistors at a time and we will try to find out the equivalent resistance of two parallel connected resistors. That is, it will be easier for us to proceed with the problem solving. Okay. So suppose, assume we have two resistors connected in parallel, right? So I am sorry, actually this is R1, this must be R2, right? I made a mistake. So please make the correction. So this is R equivalent. This is R equivalent. So we have resistor R1, resistor R1, resistor R2, these two are connected in parallel. Now according to this formula, 1 by R equivalent equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So simplify this, 1 by R equivalent equal to R2 plus R1 divided by R1 plus R2. So take reciprocal, then only you will be getting equivalent resistance. R equivalent equal to R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So you have to remember this formula. When two resistors are connected in parallel, then their equivalent resistance equal to R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. That is, multiply numerator, multiply the resistors, and denominator add the resistor. Add the resistors. Add the two resistors. Okay. So this is the formula we have to follow. Suppose you have two resistors connected in two resistors connected in parallel, and if those two resistors are equal resistors, for example, like this, equal resistors. So you can see I have two resistors connected in parallel, but both are same, or. Sometimes it will occur, it will come. So there is, quickly you can find out the equivalent resistance. So it is nothing but, equivalent resistance is nothing but 1/2 of the resistance, right? So R equivalent equal to, of course, now only I told the formula, R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Here both R1 R2, both are R. So nothing, so we can write R into R divided by R plus R. R equivalent equal to numerator R square, denominator is 2R. So R equivalent equal to R square divided by 2R. So the square and this R getting cancelled. So I can write R equivalent is R by 2. So the idea is when two equal resistors are connected in parallel, then its equivalent resistance is going to be 1/2 of that resistor. So that without using the formula, just by seeing, you can immediately tell the answer. Okay. So when you want to solve problems in some competitive examinations, so at that time you cannot calculate using the formula. So if you know this simple idea, trick, shortcut, you can quickly solve the problem. Okay, because in competitive examination, the problem may look very big, but you must use shortcuts to solve the problem in a quick manner. Okay, say for example, I have two resistors, 8 ohm, 8 ohm, both are same, right? Connected in parallel. So what is its equivalent? 1/2 of 8. So R equivalent equal to 8 by 2, that is nothing but 4 ohm. So just by seeing, right? Just by seeing, you can immediately tell the answer. Suppose I have 10 ohm and 10 ohm connected in parallel, right? You can immediately say the equivalent resistance is going to be 5, 1/2 of 10. Suppose 12 ohm connected in parallel. Of course, the equivalent resistance is going to be 6 ohm. So instantly you can tell the answer, right? Next we have the so-called current divider rule. The so-called current divider rule. So this is applicable for parallel circuit. So here I have two resistors, R1 and R2 are connected in parallel, and Vs is the source voltage, right? Now the current coming out of this Vs is Is. So this current divides at point A into two parts. One is I1 flowing through R1, and the remaining is I2 that flows through R2. At the bottom point, this I1 and I2 combine as Is, it goes to the negative point of the DC supply. I already told you, current always starts from the positive terminal of the battery or positive terminal of the source or DC supply, and it flows through various parts, and finally it reaches the negative terminal of the battery. Then only we can say this is a closed circuit, right? Now, using this current divider rule, you can find what is the current flowing through a branch. Okay. So for that, suppose, for example, I want to find out what is the current flowing through I1. Say this current flowing through I1 is through R1. Okay. So current flowing through R1 is I1. Okay. So I1, the branch current I1 equal to R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into Is. So what is this formula to remember? Suppose I want current through R1, which is I1, just opposite branch resistance, that is numerator, divided by sum of the two resistors multiplied by the source current, right? So likewise I2 through R2, so opposite branch resistance is R1. So R1 divided by R1 plus R2 multiplied by Is. Is is the current coming out of the source. You can call it as source current also. So the formula to remember, I have written it in the words so that you can easily remember. Branch current equal to opposite resistor divided by sum of the resistors multiplied by source current. See, remember, it is a sum. Sum means total. Don't find any equivalent resistance. Similarly, in voltage divider rule also, it is sum of the resistors. Don't find out the equivalent resistance. So the branch current equal to opposite resistor divided by sum of resistors multiplied by source current. So next what we will do is we will apply, see, we will not do large number of problems, right? We will do only one problem, a very simple problem. If you are able to correctly solve that problem, right? If you are able to correctly solve that problem, I can say you have correctly understood the concept of series and parallel connection. It is going to be a very simple problem. But if you have solved correctly means you have correctly understood the concept of series connection and parallel connection. And any complicated problem you can solve easily. Okay. So that will be the next thing. What I will suggest is, first you stop the video, right? First you try to solve the problem by yourself. Try for yourself by applying the concepts studied so far. And then you verify my solution. Okay. Suppose if my solution and your solution not only final answer, but the approach to solve the problem, if both are same, then you can be confident that you have correctly understood the concept of series connection and parallel connection, and be confident that you can solve any problem based on series and parallel connection. Okay, so I will be solving only one problem, representative problem, that will take care of any type of problem that you may find in your textbook. Okay.